What's really good, y'all? It's your boy, Aaron Bevins, a millennial entrepreneur. I'm here with my brother, my brethren, Amin. What's really good, bro?
Not much, man. Long time no speak, man. I'm ready to get into it today.
Yeah. I'm excited, man, because, you're somebody who's taking this business seriously. You're somebody who, you came in the community a little while ago, and I feel like our energy has always been good. I don't know. Just something about you, your energy, your style, your sincerity I just can tell that it's authentic. You are who you are, and you take this business for what it is, man. So you're somebody that I've always rocked with really heavy. And the fact that we had the opportunity to break bread on this deal and then now share the platform again for the second time, I'm excited about it, bro.
Absolutely, bro. Appreciate that intro, man. That was beautiful. It means a lot.
You already know. But this is about you. This is not about me. So we're going to be telling a little bit about who you are, where you come from, right after this intro, how you got this deal closed, where you got it, the lead and all that. And we're going to make it happen right after this intro. Let's get it.
We made it, that's facts, ayy. We the greatest, that's facts, ayy. Prices raising, that's facts, ayy. That's right. But we paid it, that's facts, ayy. I did. They hate it, that's facts, ayy. Cause we changing, that's facts, ayy. We did. Can't blame them, that's facts, ayy. Cause we made it, that's facts, ayy. Cherry on top, that's a goat, yeah. Where you been, I wanna know, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. I know you wanna look up for this. Baby, let me turn you up a bit. You said you made it through hell and back. Give me the school, baby, tell the facts. Gonna be fine.
Yeah. Okay, we in here like swimwear. All right, so somebody said whenever I posted this, bro, somebody said they were like, y'all look like y'all could be brothers. I'm like, bro, everybody tells me that.
I just need that hair, man. I just need that hair going on. Oh, man.
So I love it. So with that said, bro, talk to me a little bit about before we get into the case study on this lead, on this deal that you closed. Talk to me a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and how did you stumble on this world of wholesaling real estate? Just give us the Reader's Digest version.
I got you. Yeah, I'll try to keep it short, man, and appreciate that intro. That was clean. Yeah, man. So how did I start wholesaling? It dates back to around 2017. I was in college at the time, and there was a guy by the name of Nick Ruiz. You might have heard of him.
Yeah. Oh, snap. I didn't know that you were influenced by Nick Ruiz.
Yeah, that was like the first time ever I heard about wholesaling. So he had a book called was it Flip, or I forget the name. I have it in here somewhere. But yeah, I stumbled across his page and I bought the book. And I remember I was in my dorm room. I was probably a junior at the time, and I just picked it up, and that's where I learned wholesaling, to be honest with you. And from there, started putting up bandit signs in the city I was in. I was in Richmond at the time, Richmond, Virginia. Yeah. And that's kind of how I learned about wholesaling. And yeah, after I graduated college, I was kind of like on and off, just trying to see what I can do with wholesaling. Again, I was like, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I wasn't really putting that much energy into it. Again, I was still in school. And yeah, by the time I graduated, just like everyone else, started working at a bank and did that for about 4 years. And while I was still on and off trying to wholesale, not really successfully. And just, man, after COVID happened, I, kind of really put a lot of energy into it. And 2022 came. That's when I just decided to, step away from the 9 to 5. And March of 2022 is when I was like, all right, man, we got to go all in. And at that point, I had already gathered like a lot of information and understanding about real estate and wholesaling in particular. So I just felt confident to be able to, just kind of go all in. And it wasn't the easiest route, man, but we here today, man.
100%. Okay, so how old are you, Amin?
28.
28. Got you. And this is just for everybody who's watching this. Where's your family from?
Oh yeah, I should have started with that, man. So I'm from Ethiopia. So we migrated here when I was in 4th grade. So at the time I was around 11 years old. And yeah, man, grew up in, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. We call it the DMV because we're like 10, 15 minutes away from each state. It's kind of weird. It's like 3 states into one. But yeah, grew up around here, grew up in Northern Virginia. And went to school down south in Virginia, like an hour and a half down south. And I came up north after I finished school, and I now reside in DC. So it's like there's a huge Ethiopian community here. Fun fact, like outside of the country Ethiopia alone, this is like the biggest population of Ethiopians outside of the whole country. So it's kind of
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I think I don't know if I told you this, bro, but when I lived in New York, one of my roommates,
I do remember that. Yeah.
It was Ethiopian, and I remember, I will never forget, his mom comes by our apartment one day, and she cooks us Ethiopian food, and bro, my mouth is salivating thinking about it, bro. And she made this chili-like dish. It was like a chili almost.
Right.
And she made the bread. It was like a sponge-like type bread.
Injera, yep.
And they showed me how to eat it, and we scooped up the food and ate it just like that, bro.
It's pretty good. Yeah, a lot of flavor. It takes a minute to flavor. Yeah, a lot of flavor for sure.
A lot of flavor. So some of my favorite people are Ethiopian. You, Nipsey Hussle, and then my brother Nahom Asefa.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And two of those my favorite people are community members, and so you know what I mean. I got love for Ethiopia, and I got love for y'all's culture. Y'all have such an incredible culture, and anyway, I just had to show you some love. So with that said, let's talk about this business, this deal. So there's a particular deal that I wanted to case study with you because it's just a dope story, right?
It is.
And so one day, I don't know how we ended up doing this, but I think it was a little challenge that I was doing in the community when I was like, man, I want to start showing love to engaged community members, to people who want to be leaders, and let's do lives together and make calls together. So I want to say you volunteered to hop on a live and make calls with me, right?
Right. Yep.
One of those calls was this deal that we're case studying that you ended up closing and funding. So can you just walk us through the conversation and a little bit about the deal, the good, bad, and ugly, and how we ended up closing it?
Yeah, man, absolutely. It is a dope story, man. It's absolutely a dope story because it's all recorded, like literally from the intake up until the closing. It's all documented. So I thought it was pretty dope. But yeah, like you said, man, it was the 90-day challenge you were doing. I think it was 180K in 90 days, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
That was a challenge. And then, I had just volunteered to, do one of the calls. I was super nervous. I'm not going to lie, man. I'm camera shy. So I'm super nervous, but, so yeah, like we hopped on a live and I think I made a total of 3 calls. I'm not even going to lie. We were on the call for like an hour, but I only made 3 calls because one of the calls, was this deal we closed. And I think that was, a much longer call. But I think the first person didn't pick up. And then we had a second person that was in New Jersey. He did pick up. It was a very good lead. But then this third person.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
We tried to work it, but the guy was a little, he was kind of funny. But, this third lead that we called, it was this deal that we closed in Louisville. And yeah, man, dope story. It was right on the live. He picked up the phone and I think he had wanted, if I'm not mistaken, like 220-ish, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And we came in around 200. And yeah, he was satisfied. This guy was very particular and such a stickler, like with the contract. If I remember correctly, he had me send the contract back like 7 times. But I want to skip
wait, we got to break that down. See, because these are the little nuances of the business that you don't always hear about whenever we do the case studies and we talk about the money. So let's just kind of extrapolate that a little bit. Why? What happened? Why?
Yeah. So, I mean, initially on the call, everything was smooth. He liked the number. He's like, I just need to think about it. So it was a follow-up effort. I would say I probably, touched it maybe like 4 or 5 times before we actually got it under contract. So it was a lot of back and forth, him thinking about it. And when we got to a point, he's like, all right, cool, I'm ready. Send me the contract. Sent it over. And again, it's like a standard contract that we use on everything else. It doesn't really have any issues. Very standard, simple to understand. But sometimes you have those sellers that are like, all right, I'm ready to sign, man. Where do I put my initials? And then you have people like him that read every single sentence. So he had me send it back so many times because like he read every single detail. He had his lawyer review it and he had me take out a bunch of small little things. And he's like, I want to keep the washer with me, washer and dryer. So take that part out. I want to take that. So that was one of them. So we made that edit. And then the other edit was, the type of deed, he wanted it to be I think it said like warranty deed. He wanted it to say specifically general warranty deed. Like, all right, cool. You know, did a little research, but like you said, there's a lot of nuances with every deal. You know, our job is to solve these problems. So like with a little bit of research and making sure we're not doing anything, you know, crazy, we're able to, you know, deliver on his, you know, questions or whatever he wanted.
So so I love this. So before we go on to the next aspects of getting the deal closed, funded, finding a buyer, all that fun stuff, what advice would you give wholesalers, new wholesalers, maybe people who are like, okay, am I doing this right? What's going on? Why, like, is it supposed to be this hard? Like, is every seller like this? Like, because you do have sellers that are like this. And oftentimes I hear wholesalers get upset if sellers are particular about paperwork, or they're the owl type personalities where they're very detail oriented. And it does make for a little bit more work and elbow grease that we have to put in just to get the deal locked in and escrow open. What advice would you give in terms of how you were able to overcome this, the mindset, the patience? Like, what advice would you give to new wholesalers for clients like this that we have to deal with?
I think that's a great question, man. And I think, you know, a lot of us, you know, whether it's in the initial step of the process, you know, trying to get under contract, or even in the transaction process, or even in the dispo process, every single seller is different. And I think if you're going into it with the mindset of, okay, I'm here to serve them and, you know, solve their problems, then you'll just look at every single, you know, objection or every single question as something to overcome. You know what I mean? So it can be as ridiculous as, hey, I don't want any assignments. And, you know, a newer wholesaler, or, you know, someone that's never dealt with that would probably think, okay, this is a dead deal. They just don't want to sign. But like anything else, man, there's ways to overcome every single request. I definitely believe that. So yeah, my advice is just put one foot in front of the other and just think, okay, I need to solve this specific problem. Then I need to know that there's going to be another problem that's going to come up. It's never going to be smooth selling. You know what I mean? So yeah, as long as you go in it with that mindset that, you know, you're here to solve the problems and you're going to deal with multiple problems before actually getting that wire in your bank account, then I think you'll be good.
I love that. You couldn't have worded that better, dude. Like, isn't that true? Like, if we go in with the true mindset of we're here to serve. One of my biggest pet peeves, Amin, I don't know if you've ever heard me say this on a community call, but I hate it when, and this is not just in this industry, whenever I was selling mobile homes or I was door-to-door sales for energy, I hate it when anybody on my sales team, and now at large in my organization, I have over 125 people on staff. We have 120 people in our community, right? I hate it when I hear people talk bad about sellers, talk down on buyers, or talk trash on other wholesalers. And I hate it because it's like, bro, we're here to serve them.
Right.
They're the ones who are paying our bills.
Absolutely.
Like, are we upset because they have additional challenges that we have to solve, and those challenges are inherently the stepping stones to us getting paid? You know, I love what Marcus Aurelius said, you know, one of the greatest military strategists and leaders in history. He said, when you have work to do, do the work without complaining. Do not complain out loud, and do not even complain in your heart. If there's work to be done, do the work, and then you'll see results. So I love that you said that, bro. You couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah, man. No, it's true, man. Like you just worded it. It's absolutely true, man. You're always gonna deal with issues with sellers and buyers, and we deal with that every day, man. But yeah, as long as you know you're solving the problems, man, you'll be fine.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. One more thing I want to say on that is, you know, I love it whenever I hop on one-on-one coaching calls or I hop on accountability calls, and people are like, "Oh, this seller is all this distress and anxiety, and they're making me," and I'm like, bro, that is why you're getting paid.
Facts.
That's like a doctor. That's like a doctor coming home to his wife, and his wife is like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "All these people, they're so freaking sick." Are you mad? Are you mad that you have a job? Like, what?
Right.
You know what I mean? The reason why we get paid is because flippers, hedge funds, God forbid, the flippers, landlords, owner financiers, and hedge funds, God forbid, they become willing to do this hard stuff, because then a lot of wholesalers will be out of a job.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. I am guilty too, bro. I say that like at least once or twice a week, man. I'm like, oh man, this seller. Oh man, these people are ridiculous. But yeah, I think I kind of get grounded, especially in the mornings. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm ready to work, and I know I'm gonna be solving problems today. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
But yeah, throughout the day, you're like, oh shoot, I've been working all day. I'm kind of like frustrated with some of these sellers, but I think as long as you come back to like, ground zero, you kind of get leveled. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up, y'all? Shout out to everybody on here. For some reason, I cannot see y'all's faces, but we got people showing mad love. Everybody saying good morning. Thank you for tagging people. Thank y'all for sharing this out. Shout out IG, shout out YouTube. We love all you guys. Instagram, Twitch, we love you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. So let's continue on with this deal. So you finally get it locked up,
Mm-hmm.
and the deal is in Louisville, Kentucky.
Right.
And so how did you find a buyer? What route did you take to find a buyer on this deal? What did you do to actually get the contract assigned?
Yeah, so we actually ended up JVing with a local wholesaler who's also part of the community to get it sold. Obviously they had some of the best buyers in the area. They kind of served as the boots on the ground as well. So we really didn't have to do too much heavy lifting on the dispo side, which worked out well. Because this seller was very particular to, like, I told you about the details. He looked into the paperwork, and but yeah, like they handled the dispo very well. They had a buyer that was already lined up. He liked the numbers, and yeah, so that's what we did on the dispo side. We JV'd it with a local wholesaler that's also part of the community.
Yeah, I love it. So something that I just want to extract from that, y'all, is do not be afraid to outsource your disposition or outsource your boots on the ground to if you're a part of a community, you're already leaps and bounds ahead of other people. I'm telling you right now, because community is what has kept me in business.
Right.
Community has kept me in business, y'all. And I'm talking about before I even started monetizing community and charging. I'm talking before that. Community kept me in business, because exactly what Amin is saying right now, that Amin, you didn't have any buyers in Louisville at this. Had you ever done a deal in Louisville?
No, never.
Neither had I.
Yeah.
And so Amin is like, okay, in the community, we have somebody who does deals prolifically in Louisville. So reaches out to him, and so how did you negotiate that? Because I want to give value to people who are watching this. Like, okay, I'm hearing this stuff. $10,000 in one deal would change my life, and so how did you negotiate this? Did you go and say, hey, I have a deal? Did you immediately go into it saying, hey, I'll split the proceeds with you? You'll be my boots on the ground. Can you check this out? Can you run my numbers? Like, what did that conversation look like? That way, people who want to JV in the future, maybe even with you, know how to address you or address somebody else who they want to JV with.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And to answer that question, I think if you're going into it with the mindset of, okay, like I'm here not only to close this deal and make it a win-win for the seller and the buyer, I'm here to build relationships. You know what I mean? So that way, in the future, if I have deals in Louisville or any other place for that matter, you have somebody to call on. But in this specific case, we just split it. To be honest, they handled the dispo side. They even handled the title work as well. And they are the ones to get the pictures, since they were in the market. And because this was. How would you identify this seller? Like personality type? Would you say like analytical?
Owl, yeah, very analytical, very so he's, I don't know what color he would be in the in that frame, but I know he would be referred to as an owl or very analytical. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree, man. And I think that's also very important to take a note of. You know what I mean? Like, creating avatars for all of your sellers, I think you can't treat every seller the same, even if you get the contract. You know what I mean? You have to be a little bit, strategic with how you do certain things. So it worked out perfectly, man. They were in the market. They had a reputation in the market as well. So we had no issues as far as getting pictures, doing showings on the title work side, getting it to closing. We didn't really have any issues there, to be honest with you. So And this was a seller that he was a business owner, so he was selling a business and moving down to Texas, actually, where you guys are. So yeah, man, you know, so he had a couple of things going on, and timeline was very important to him because, you know, for selling the business and being able to move, getting the proceeds and moving down south and, you know, buying his next place. But yeah, we really didn't have any issues, you know, making that happen for him. So
I love it. I love it, man. And so what would you say is probably one of your biggest takeaways from this deal? And I'm not looking for anything in particular, just something you feel like you learned, or maybe a belief that was reiterated or validated. Like what would you say your biggest, other than the money, what would you say was the biggest takeaway that you got from this deal?
Yeah, man. I would say the biggest takeaway would be it's kind of similar to what I said earlier, just not to be afraid because you don't know a specific market, you don't already have relationships with a dispo person or a title company or a boots on the ground or whatever. You know, like I said earlier, just put one foot in front of the other and, you know, fix the problem at hand. You know what I mean? And tomorrow you fix the next problem. You know what I mean? So that was my biggest learning. And since then, you know, we've done multiple virtual leads, and there's been a challenge in every single one. I'm not gonna lie. There's been a challenge in every single one, but we were kind of able to apply some of the learning from here, and, you know, just, you know, understanding that, hey, we know what we're doing. There's gonna be moments where we're not gonna know what to do next, but we'll figure it out and get it to closing. And yeah, we kind of go with that mentality with every single deal, man, to be honest. But, you know, I want to make it clear, we do deal with a lot of challenges on every single deal.
Yep. Yeah, I love that, man. I love that you're keeping it real. I love that you're keeping it real.
Yeah.
We got a few minutes, man, and I wanna dig into your brain a little bit. So, you know, up until now, you've done a good amount of deals. You're gaining traction. You have some really big goals. If you could start all over with the knowledge that you know now, is there anything that you would have done differently in business when getting started?
Yes, for sure. What I would have done differently is kind of like, you know, what Steve Jobs says, like how you can go much farther with, you know, with a team. You know what I mean? So I think in the beginning, I was really clinging on to this idea of I do everything myself. I keep 100% of every single thing, and that's how I'm going to win. You know what I mean? And I did that for a little bit, but you know, you get burnt out, man. You get burnt out, and you need a community. Like, you need people around you to like push you, and people that understand the kind of issues that you're dealing with, the kind of challenges that you're dealing with. Because, you know, everybody deals with challenges, but our challenges might be different for every single profession, industry. So I think building with people that have similar goals as you and a similar mindset would be what I would change if I was to start all over again. Yeah.
Powerful, man. Powerful. I love that. And you're somebody who, you know, a lot of people know in the community. You know what I mean? It's not that you're necessarily the loudest person, but you're actively doing the business. So you're somebody who would show up on screen. You know, you allow yourself to be held accountable and things like this. So, you know, what benefits have you found in being a part of a community or communities in this business?
Oh man, a lot, to be honest with you. Just having people to call on, man. Like, people I've met in the community, like, I reach out to them. Like, I reach out to people like Zach whenever we have leads in Texas. I've reached out to Joey a few times for deals, Jordan. Like, being able to reach out to people that have a specific knowledge, right, that differs from yours, I think is very important. So I've gained that for sure. Getting market knowledge, getting dispo knowledge, getting process knowledge, just having people to call on. And, you know, it's a two-way street. You know, I provide value, they provide value back. And I think that's been really powerful, man, to be honest with you. Because, you know, I think every single market is different. Like, you know, having people in your local community, I think is amazing. But, you know, just understanding how people work in other markets too, in other states, how deals, you know, work and the kind of margins they're used to, I think it's pretty dope, man. So definitely won't take that for granted, man. We'll definitely continue to, you know, leverage some of those relationships.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. And this is more of a personal development thing because we're coming up on time already.
Yeah.
What would you say? Do you have any books that you've read that have had a major impact on your personal development or your business development, your business savvy, that you kind of, you take suggestions and thoughts from time to time?
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. One of my favorite books, honestly, has to be Atomic Habits. And I wouldn't say I'm the most disciplined person, to be honest with you. I try to be every single day, and I try to like work on it. But I think that book has really allowed me to, completely understand that every single result that you're wanting has to do with your habits.
Man.
And, like if you're not getting the results you want, you have to be able to take accountability and look back at the day before, at the week before, at the month before, the year before, and say, okay, what habits did I not have in place to be able to accomplish this goal that I really wanted to achieve? So still a work in progress, man. I don't have the perfect habits, but I think I've definitely improved, like, in the past couple of years. So that would be my favorite book, to be honest with you, business and life.
Come on. And a couple more questions, man, just to inspire the people. Up until now, what's the biggest deal that you've closed?
Up until now, the biggest specific, particular deal, not too crazy. 57,000 was the biggest deal that we've closed. And we do have an escrow. I want to say we do have an escrow for what potentially could be the biggest deal. And we're projected to make around 70 grand on this deal.
Let's go.
So
let's go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my man literally looked at the camera in the lens and said, not too big of a deal, 57,000.
Well, I only said that because, you hear the hundreds and, what I mean? We're trying to get there, though. We're working.
Listen, bro. Look, comparison is the thief of joy, my guy.
Absolutely.
Look, let me put this in a perspective. Watch this. Where do you live? What market? You're in DMV, right?
I'm in, DC.
Watch this. Watch this, bro. Watch this. Let me put this into perspective real quick. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. In my city, the median household income is 62,000 in my city. Now, the median individual income in my city is 40,000.
Yeah.
That's before taxes.
Right.
So for you to do a $57,000 deal, I'm telling you, that is insane. At one time, hitting the bank account. And then let me share this, because there's thousands and thousands of people who are gonna watch this on the replay. Let me tell y'all something, y'all. Wholesalers, and this is me picking on me and Amin and everybody. Wholesalers are some of the most spoiled people in this world, and let me tell you why. A wholesaler will make a statement like Amin right now that'll close a $57,000 deal and be like, it's no big deal, just 57,000. Ain't nothing.
I ain't mean it like that, though.
I know.
Right.
No, I mean that in a joking way, right? I mean that. Somebody says, I love how our community thinks 57,000 isn't that big. LMAO. Wealth mindset. No, I mean it. I mean it with love. One more question I want to ask you, Amin,
yes, sir,
is what are your goals over the next 12 to 24 months? Audacious goals that you're looking to achieve?
Great question, man. So biggest goal for next year, man, is to continue growing our team, bringing on some more acquisitions folks and disposition folks. And we're going into the next year with plans of doing some development ourselves as well. So we're getting more into flips, and development is big in the DC market, like condo conversions and things like that. So we have partnerships in place to be able to, get that done. So that's definitely a goal of ours, to at least do 5 projects. That's the big goal for next year. And wholesale wise, to grow the operation, man, just bring on more people. We're working on really cool stuff on, the process side, CRM, and incorporating AI and stuff. A lot of bells and whistles, but still, focusing on the foundation and like the basics. So yeah, man, just keep working. To be honest, nothing too crazy, but just keep working. just work harder and, bring on more people.
Yeah. I love that, man. I love that. Amin, I'm proud of you, bro. I've seen your growth from the first time meeting you until now. I know that you're going to crush it. So I'm excited to be doing a podcast from you maybe a year from now where you're closing your first 7-figure development project. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're teaching me things, and I'm looking for your advice on stuff, and I know that that's not far-fetched because I've seen it a lot. So I appreciate you coming on and dropping lots of value, bro.
Appreciate you, man. Always a pleasure, bro.
Yeah,
and I love the hairdo, by the way, man. Look good.
Come on. Yeah, I'm on my wet mop status. You know what I mean? I got to get my braids back in. But for those of you who are tuning in, if you want to be a part of our rapidly growing community where we don't teach wholesaling, but we train on wholesaling. We do deals together, kind of like the one me and Amin just talked about. We provide the leads for you. And maybe you're not interested in the coaching, but if you are, DM me, Superhuman, and I'd love to see if we're a good fit to bring you in the community. If you're interested in bringing on into your business some of the most prolific leads, Superhuman PPL right now is on discount for $40 a lead, and that's what we're using to bring on the major successes that we're seeing. Send me a DM asking about the Superhuman PPL deals, Superhuman pay-per leads, and I'd love to be able to help you. All right. With that said, until next time, guys, make sure if you're not home yet, please drive safe because they be driving crazy out here. Make sure when you are home, love on your loved ones because tomorrow is not promised. Brush your teeth, and for goodness sakes, don't slap nobody. Until next time, we appreciate you, Amin. Let's get it.
Peace, bro. Appreciate you.
We made it, that's facts, ayy. We the greatest, that's facts, ayy. Prices raising, that's facts, ayy. That's right. But we paid it, that's facts, ayy. They hate it, that's facts, ayy. Cause we changing, that's facts, ayy. We did. Can't blame them, that's facts, ayy. Cause we made it, that's facts, ayy. Cherry on top, that's a goat, yeah. Where you been, I wanna know, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. Greatest story ever told, yeah. I know you wanna look up for this. Baby, let me turn you up a bit. You said you made it through hell and back. Give me the scoop, baby, to the fact. Don't be shy.